Hello, I am so happy to welcome you to this episode of Leadership in Aviation Podcast. And I have someone who's become a dear friend to me on the podcast today. Mark Schulz is the founder of DigitalAircraft. And we met on Facebook and then on LinkedIn. And now here we are in a podcast. Mark, I am so delighted to capture your nuggets of wisdom for leadership in aviation. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Renee, thank you so much for inviting me to come and just have this conversation with you. You know, I'm really pleased to be here. And yeah, we did meet in a couple of different ways. And I think one of them, we really engaged for the first time when I did a virtual, conference is what I did. And you helped me. You jumped in and said, I'll help you out. And that was great. So I think that was about 3 or 4 years ago, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some collaborative leadership initiatives together, but that's not likely where you started out in your leadership journey. I know that you've held so many jobs in several different industries. Boeing will be the one that most people recognize the name of first, but will you give people a little bit of your background in how you have developed as a leader over the years?
Yeah, thanks, Renee. I always like to tell people that I have several different, key passions, and they've evolved over time, but I've always had a passion for aviation. My passion for digital and its implementation, within different industries, specifically in the aviation industry, has evolved, but it really revolves all around my passion to help people. That's something that I've had, from a very, very young age. And I had people that recognized that, and they mentored me, in that direction. And, as far as my aviation career is concerned, Renee, my father used to take me to the airport and put me at the end of the runway in the car. And we used to watch airplanes take off, as a kid. And that helped me to grow that passion for aviation. And then he took me to Oshkosh, Wisconsin one year for the annual EAA fly-in, now called AirVenture. And what he did was he put me in the right seat of a Ford Trimotor. And we flew around the patch, and I was convinced I was in aviation at that time. And I went back and I got my I started taking flying lessons, and I got my student certificate before I could drive a car. It took me a couple of years longer to get my private and my commercial and multi-engine and instrument. But so I have 40 years of time in aviation, doing different things. And I went on to work at manufacturers and airlines, and I worked in maintenance and engineering and maintenance training. And then I categorized that part of my career as having been a consumer of technology. I was understanding operations, and I was involved in, managing business units. And then I realized there needed to be optimizations and efficiencies in the industry. And so I switched over to delivering of technology. And so for the last half of my career, I've focused on delivery of technology, and I've worked with airlines and maintenance companies and manufacturers, including Boeing and Jeppesen. And I've worked with Airbus and Embraer and, companies all over the world. And so that really brings me to where I am today, where I'm really helping people today to create efficiencies in our industry, the aviation industry, through the implementation of different digital technologies.